So today I want to introduce everybody, all my fans, to my brother, Jose Sanchez, otherwise known as Big Pepper Stepper. What's up, Big Pep?
What's going on, my guy? What's going on?
What's happening?
Man, let me start with this. As everybody know, man, my name is Jose Sanchez, known as Big Pep. I just recently finished doing a 13 and a half year sentence. I say 13 and a half, but really it was 13 years, 2 months and a half um, for a nonviolent drug offense. Let me just tell you, this was in the state of Kansas. Um, at the end of the day, you already know how they try to oppress our people by giving them time and just making it hard on us.
Right.
When I mean recently, I just got out March 17th. You know, here it is, March 29th, and I'm feeling good, man. It just feels great to be out here living life, and just enjoying my family as much as we can,
That's right, brother. Yeah. And like for the fans, me and his brother have been friends for a long time. Been through a lot together as well. Um, the thing that you said, man, that I want to go ahead and open up the conversation with, brother, is concerning your situation. And I know everything about, what happens and everything. I know those things. But being that this was a non-violent situation, all the time they was trying to throw at you because they was trying to throw more time at you than that, right? Weren't they? I believe they were.
Yeah, there was actually, well, let me tell you, they actually gave me the max. I took my case to trial
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that all they could prove was 13 grams of pure cocaine. It wasn't even crack cocaine where the crack laws can be in, but it was pure cocaine.
Right.
And all they could prove was 13 grams of it. The max they could have gave me was exactly what they gave me. And I took it to trial because they was offering me a 9-year plea, and I felt that it was just a simple possession charge. I mean, there was no proof of intent. The system is just so messed up that nowadays, and at that time, don't get me wrong, I wasn't no angel, you know what I'm saying? But you caught me with what this is. Why don't you charge me with this? And let's forget what you thinking of the past or what you thinking I'm doing, you know? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, if you play, you pay. I understand the game. That's how it goes. But
Right.
they're very abusive with their powers. And
Right.
being that they wanted me off the streets completely, they gave me that 13 and a half year sentence. Now, mind you, it was actually 13 and a half year sentence. I got sentenced to 15 and a half years, 186 months. It was a 13 and a half year sentence for the 13 grams and 2 years for 30 pounds. That's
Wow.
how ridiculous it was.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
And
this
that was two different counties.
right.
Go ahead.
It's a broken system. It definitely is. But as we look at it,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back and revisit this situation. We know, let's talk about it. Marijuana. Let's talk about marijuana. And let's
Mm-hmm.
see how far marijuana
Mm-hmm.
has gone. Um, Brothers and sisters, people who have been incarcerated because of marijuana, who now are able to see certain
Mm-hmm.
states like the state that I'm in, Kansas, Missouri, has legalized marijuana for recreational uses, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
hear those type of things, right, and knowing how they would come after you behind marijuana, right, and put and throw you into the system. Now you're in the system for an ounce of weed,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're in the
Mm-hmm.
system, right? So now the next offense and the next offense, even though they may be minor and it may not even be a hard narcotic drug or something like that, you're still being penalized from that initial ounce of weed that you had that now you can go to the dispensary and buy like it's nothing. Now, how does that make
Well, I mean,
you know?
well, as I didn't speak on it because you just realized I'm also in parole. I'm on parole right now for Texas. I got sentenced to 25 years for 12 pounds of marijuana back in 2011. They came and got me from the Kansas prison system to sentence me in Texas. And they told me if I didn't plea out to the 25 years, that I'm looking at 25 to 99, which is 25 years before you even see the parole board. Now, listen, you're right. How is it 12 pounds of marijuana can get you 25 years? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm done with the sentence, but I got the back end, which is the parole. And I got a 2036 out date for that case. So
Right.
I'm going to be on parole till then. But anyhow, the thing about that is Now, mind you, I just told you that I got caught with 30 pounds in Manhattan, Kansas, and they gave me 2 years to run consecutive with the state of, with the county of Geary, who hit me with the 13 and a half. So it was 186 months altogether that I got. But
Right.
I go to Texas, and this is right before I catch these cases in Kansas, because the Texas case was first, and they hit me with 25 years that I had to plea out to.
I
It's
my mind about that one.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I actually was just talking to a Texas parole lawyer today because now, okay, I'm out. I've been on parole since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that I still have to sit and do the parole? If I lived in Texas, I would have been done with parole. But since I did it, what they call an interstate compact, parole to another state, they tell me I have to do the full bid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Now,
but Texas is, go
one
ahead.
of my issues, Big Pep, is this, man. Non-violent crimes, right? That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time for a non-violent crime. And I'm seeing in the community that I live in, I'm seeing let's say domestic violence carry a lighter sentence. There's been even cases of abuse, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and even, man, 25 years. I know all about this. Where I'm from, there's been cases of murder where people done got out in 10.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so these are violent crimes. To me, it never made sense to merge violent offenders with non-violent offenders. And this is what
Well, how I took it was they're more scared of individuals like us. We can make a lot of things happen being in the streets than what a murderer or a violent criminal could do, because all they're doing is violence. A non-violent criminal, it's all about making paper. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
we have just so many ways that I always felt that's how it is. They just don't want to see us progress, and since they know we can, why don't you give them a lengthy system? Now the thing is, like you said, the time, man, I met a guy, real good friend of mine. He had a double murder, premeditated murder, shot him in the dome,
Mm-hmm.
and got the same exact time I did, 186 months for the double murder.
Yeah, crazy. To me, that
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense, man.
no,
And now let
it
me
don't.
ask you this as well, because Obama came with some heavy promises about
Yeah.
about shortening the time of nonviolent, I guess, drug offenders, right?
Okay.
You remember that time?
Yes, but that's on the federal level. The states will not bulge. That's the problem right there. He talked more on the federal level. Yes, there was a lot of people in the federal penitentiary. A lot of good friends of mine got out under that law. Got under that law, got out under Trump's law too, because Trump helped out too.
Right.
But the states went bulge. Mind you, this is how the states look at it. Now think about it. When it's the federal system, it's probably a million over. They're in over six figures, maybe closer to seven figures of people in prison. It's
Right.
funny. They can afford it. The states, like the state of Kansas, has 10,000 inmates altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Why should they bulge? They don't have. They're how they're looking at it is there's not too many people locked up. Like Missouri. Missouri's in the six figures. You got Cali, Texas, Pennsylvania. There's a lot of states that are in the six figures. Ohio, but Kansas is not. They just barely making the five figures.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's how they look at it. Why should we bulge? Is how they're looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And why should we even put programs in there? Like we spoke on it yesterday, but maybe I should speak on it now. Nowadays, what they're doing is they're condemning um what basically dope fiends in there. That's what they want you to do. They're giving it a pass in the system. Before you would get in trouble. Say you're in the minimum, you get caught with some type of dope or even tobacco. Let's send them behind the walls. You know what I'm saying? That way they can see what it's like behind there. And now they're missing the minimum. Nowadays they just don't care. So you have a whole city, because that's why I'm gonna call it the system. This is the concrete jungle of nothing but dope fiends. I mean, it's only less of us that don't mess around. So I'm watching this. and they're condemning it. You know,
Right.
this is what they want. They're not stopping it. They're not sending you no programs. And if say like me, my only issue is I was addicted to money. Well, they don't have nothing for me. You know, yeah, they have a couple few drug programs. Knock you 4 months is the most you can get knocked off your sentence taking a program. But I was a level one offender. That's how they did me. They shot me to the top tier. They told me I was a menace to society, so they gave me the most they could give me. They maxed me out.
Right.
You know, so you got to have up there. They just have there's certain levels. But I mean,
So
the
let me ask
system.
you, hold on. Let me ask you this because I want let me draw your attention to what you just said here. You said that the prison system itself now, the way it's functioning, the way that they're
Mm-hmm,
trying to keep control within the prison system, right? Is to
mm-hmm.
allow the inmates to be sedated off drugs
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
not to be as strong in trying to eradicate drug usage, but just turning the eye and knowing what's going on. Now,
Is
let's
it?
talk a little bit about that because to me that doesn't sound like a plausible a plausible way of fixing a situation concerning human beings by getting them under the influence of a drug. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about what type of drugs first of all, and allowing
Mm-hmm.
it to happen just to keep control. Let's talk about that for a minute though, because that's interesting. So explain that, brother.
Well, the thing is, okay. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the main drugs is in there. You got K2, which they call Tukey in there. You
Mm-hmm.
got ice, which is meth. You got heroin, and you got marijuana. Those are your main ones. Now you got your other drugs coming in here and there, but those are your main ones that are touching up. Heroin is just not coming back. Before I left, it was coming out strong. There was a lot of cats out there you could catch, but that meth and that deuce, oh my goodness, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't hide it because of the potpourri smell on the deuce. Now, mind you, you see the officers, they smell it. So what would you think? As soon as they smell it, they would call with the goon squad, which is the black suits in
Right.
the state of Kansas, and raid the spot. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they coming in. Man, they used to do that. They don't even do that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, there's this. I'm really in awe how 13 years and 2 months that I was there, over 2 months, and I actually watched the prison system change in that. From I mean, it's always bad when you go in the system, but it just got worse and worse and worse. That's just the way that's where they stand.
Right.
They
Let
don't
me
want to
ask you
help.
this then. Do you believe, excuse me, you believe the prison system today is a place of reform, or is it just a
Nah,
place of what would you call it? A place of
it's
punishing or a place of reform?
you're rotten, bro. You're rotten. You in there just waiting for your day and hope you make it to that day. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. Reform. It's no reform. It's a money system. I'm gonna tell you how the state of Kansas got smart. They started adding these minimum wage jobs. Get these dope things jobs and let's get this 35% off they before anything, before tax or anything, they get theirs. You know what I'm saying? And get their money. Now I know what they're doing with the money, but hey, let's get this paper. It's all about money, man. They're winning. They're winning. I just came from a spot which is Hutchinson Correctional Facility. Their jobs up there pay up to $26 an hour. I've seen it. This is convicts making that much money, but they take 35%. Now, mind you, right before then, I spent my first 6.5 years in Norton, which there was no jobs, and then I spent my other 6.5 years basically in Lansing before they shot me for them 4 months in Hutch. But Lansing, they have minimum wage job, but let me tell you how smart Lansing is. They won't pay you no more than $8.25. But you can go to this other state penitentiary where you can get good paying job. Now, mind you, now I keep saying the job. That's the only thing they're doing right there. All they want to do is make their money. Outside of that, they don't care about you.
Now let me throw this at you because I was talking to remember I told you I was talking to some older cats the other day, and they had been part of the prison system before, and now they've come out and they're doing community activism. They've really changed their lives. And one of the things one of the brothers was pointing out to me about the prison system, and also it's also connected to that 13th Amendment, right? About the slave wages that the prisoners really work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what he was saying, that when he got out, because he did a lengthy time too, he had worked in the prison system the whole time, but because he wasn't getting paid, I mean, what they were saying, a fair wage, wasn't being offered to him, right?
Oh no,
And it
no.
wasn't going towards any responsibilities he had outside of that prison system before he went in, let's say like child support. So what he said, when he got out after doing that time, he worked and trying to get his life together. Now he's hit with in the rears with a child support deal, like it that the common consensus would have been, okay, this man is incarcerated now. He has children. So whatever he makes, that money should be going to pay, you know, it should be enough to where it pays his child support because he is working. And although he may not be getting a whole bunch himself, but when he does get out, he doesn't go right back into debt. So what he talking about, this leads right into, segues right into recidivism, the going back. He said, because what they want me to do. I mean, I'm listening to, I mean, these brothers really, what you want me to do? I mean, I'm trying to come out here and work. This is a nonviolent crime he was convicted of. He worked in there. He did what he needed to do. Now it's time to come out. And now he got all this debt in the rears as though he never did anything while he was in there. What do you think about that particular system, man? Because that's what he was talking
Ooh. Okay, well let me speak on that because I went through the same situation.
about.
Okay, let's speak on it. A lot of guys go in there like me, and there's few that didn't even know they had child support.
Right.
Honestly, didn't even know. So when you go in there, say I went in 2010, man, I was in the five figures, and I mean in the double digits, mid double digits, goes to the six figures. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even realize I had this in the streets. Meanwhile, okay, so now I'm working. Now I understand what you're saying. Up there, you got three levels. This is the state of Kansas. You got three levels. You got $9, $15, and $21. Each level is every 4 months. Once you get to the third level, which is the highest level you get, that's where you stay at, $21 a month. You owe some rears, guess what they're doing? They're getting half of that.
Yeah.
They're getting half of that. Now, meanwhile, okay, so now you got guys like me. Okay, well, let's work. You know what I'm saying? Let's work this minimum wage job. 35%. Remember, I told you that the peoples get before taxes. Well, guess who else wants their money? Child support,
Yeah.
for their back support. When guess what? Before taxes. So it was to the point I'm working a full job, and I'm welding. I'm working a welding job. I'm working a full job, and guess what's going on with me? I'm hitting the negatives every time my check comes. Everybody's getting their money, and now they're going to the account where my people send money to make sure I'm cool. To guess what? Get the rest of the money because there was over exceeding everything. That once it's said and done, everybody wants their cash. So you're basically working. Now I understand. Now you're in the free world, and I understand where he's coming from. You expect us to come out here. We've been locked up. So at the end of the day, you're locked up. You're working for them because you're doing stuff for the state. So why is it that your money's still going up as you're locked up? It doesn't stop till either the kids stop, turn 18, or they don't go to. You better hope they don't go to college. And I don't say hope because they're your children. You're gonna love them. You want them to go to college.
Yeah.
But if they go to college, you already know you're getting hit still.
Still getting hit. Right. Wow.
Yeah. So I went through. I went through that.
That system needs to be fixed, though. To me, that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't understand what happens to. Okay, what happens? We're talking about nonviolent offenders, first of all, right? And we're talking about drug charges. Let's talk about that, man, because we understand we know how the streets run. We know that certain substances are more dangerous, really, than others. Much more dangerous. There's no comparison to heroin and marijuana. There's just not no comparison, right? But they're all scheduled. And now we see what's happening with marijuana, how that's happening. And they're still playing the same thing with the state and the federal level. Like you
Right.
was saying. See, it makes no sense to tell the people, and this is what I mean by fooling the people, that you're doing something. Let's say, like Obama said, he was doing something for prisoners with non-violent convictions. Well, really, you didn't do much because you put a good statement out there, got a lot of people excited, but you never worked this thing out with the federal government.
Right.
How are we
Right.
going to look at this thing? It's just like even
Mm.
with legalizing marijuana, part of it is supposed to be that they're supposed to go back and expunge the records of some people. Now, it's going to take a long time. And I don't trust the government to do it. Based, I mean, do you trust the government to go back and truthfully expunge the records of uh, nonviolent offenders concerning marijuana convictions? Do you believe that?